Hello, hello viewers. I am back with Cassandra the Golden Voice. Any moment from now, she will be here. I can hear her echoing at the back there.
Yeah, you?
Cassandra, if you are anywhere backstage, could you please come forward?
Now I'm going to be fashionably late, so you'll have to wait.
Sorry. Please come on.
Yeah.
Your fans are waiting. You please come.
I want to be fashionably late.
Have a seat, Cassandra.
There we go. Right. Hello all.
Good afternoon, Cassandra.
Good afternoon.
The Golden Voice.
Yes, soon to be evening, sun's going down.
How
Oh, hello, me. Hello.
How are you today? Good?
Yes. Yes. Right, yeah, that's it. Now I have a poem. I have a poem and several short stories. I hope you like my other 3 short stories. Funny endings, right? You never saw those coming. Right, well, I got a poem first. This is the one I mentioned sometime before. I never got round to saying. This is called Elise. It's Welsh for snowdrop. Isn't that beautiful? Elise sounds pretty, and snowdrop's good.
It is beautiful.
Yes. Right, here we go. She was a free spirit, wandering about the wild places like the child of nature that she was, filled with the joy of the waterfalls, of the rivers, of thicket, that's little woodland, thicket and dell, of sunlit woodlands, clear blue skies, of misty glades and butterflies, of the graceful dipping flight of birds, of the fragrance of blossoms, flowers, glimpsed faintly through sun-dappled leaves, sun-shadowed leaves, of the silvery liquid trilling of unseen birds. Oh, really, forget it. Do a whistle, quick, do a whistle. Anyway, but high in the emerald green foliage. Sometimes she would spend the whole mornings in the topmost branches of stupendously high trees. At other times she leapt from boulder to boulder along swirling watercourses like the most ethereal, that means, what would you say, ethereal, spirit, gossamer, elfin spirit, dressed in filmy, shimmering robes, vivid and dazzling in rainbow colours of the dawn. For she's a gammon child of nature, haunting pools and rocks and streams, filled with the blissfulness, that's happiness, the blissfulness of springtime, and the rapture found in dreams. A winsome child, adorable, whose smile could melt a stone, peeking shyly through the lush concealing leaves that are her home. Hang on, turn the page. Spirit free, exhilarated, born of wind and air and light, with such loveliness apparelled, and such radiance indight. That's an old English word, means clothed, indight. Quicksilver child, with joyful art, through endless days with carefree heart. That's it. Right. Now I have three short stories.
Oh, this was short and sweet.
Pardon?
This was short and sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So doesn't like me doing Gone with the Wind.
Okay.
So you only get a few minutes. Right, now, wait a minute. Thank you. All right. Now my next one is, wait a minute. Hang on, we'll get there again. Oh, God. This is my short story.
Oh, we have the next point.
Yeah, no story.
Oh, we have the next story. Short story.
All right, now, Melanie Simpson once had an altercation, that's a fight, with a rowboat, and she lost. When the sudden squall had initially sprung up, she was certain that she could steer the small craft to the shore from whence she had come. But as she, heavens to Murgatroyd. But as she fruitlessly, that means she couldn't do it, as she fruitlessly manoeuvred the little boat in one direction and the rowboat manoeuvred itself in another, it seemed that the boat, had a mind of its own. Its opinion of the worth and merit of her seamanship was in utter variance with that of Melanie's. They argued upon separate strategies and tactics for an unseasonably long time, until, with the agile assistance of a vigorous gust of wind, the rowboat tossed her precipitously into the salt water. It was now past evening, and by the illumination of jagged flashes of lightning ripping across the sky, she watched her small haven of dryness, the little rowboat, in a turbulent watery world, riding the dips and swells of the surging waves, prancing gaily away, so to speak, on the ocean crest, till it was lost to sight. In that final moment, she conceded that the rowboat may have been, after all, correct. It won the fight. Unfortunately, this belated realisation gave new depth of meaning to the word hindsight, When you look back on something and you realise something, you're worldly wise afterwards, hindsight, looking back. As she rose and fell, trying to stay afloat, trying not to drink the ocean dry, ever conscious of the 5 miles of liquid space beneath her, after some minutes she could discern the faint silhouette of a large sea-going body, endeavouring to attain a position alongside of her, struggling to avail itself of the slightest change of wind, velocity, speed and direction, no matter how minuscule, in order to attempt deliverance. Save her. Now, wait a minute. Oh, isn't this awful? As her rapidly tiring limbs flailed wildly and sought secure safety above the heaving waves, the craft neared as best it could and hove to. That means came to, hove to. That's nautical slang. But there was no one gripping the rails, shouting and gesticulating, like me, facilitating rescue. She presumed there to be only one man, too preoccupied in maintaining control of the boat to coordinate her safe passage from the sea. The craft turned away from her, and terrified, she believed for a few moments that the person on board was giving up and abandoning her. In horror at her predicament, she tried to call out, but the tumult and cacophony, the noise of the storm and the wind and the rolling waves rendered this ineffectual. She couldn't do it. And then she comprehended the purpose of the stratagem, the tactic. For a series of narrow steps led down from the deck to the waterline. With a cry of relief and joy, she thrashed madly over the waves and gripped the lowest step. By hauling hand over hand up the railing on either side, she managed to reach the top. It was turning the craft around so she could climb up. In her distressed frame of mind, she did not notice the solid wooden gate at the summit of the little staircase slowly swing open for her. And as she lay drenched, full of water, drenched, gasping and exhausted upon the deck, neither was she aware of that same gate closing securely behind her, seemingly by itself. Everyone's going, uh-oh, what's here? For the meadow. Well, hey, give them the game away. That's what we say, you give the end away. We say someone comes out of a theatre and he said, and a whole line of people waiting to go and watch this murder mystery. And he said, it's a wonderful film, you're going to go and see it. The butler did it. Oh, thanks everybody, just told us the ending, the butler did it. So every time you give the game away and see what the ending of something, somebody says, thanks, the butler did it. When she had recovered somewhat from her ordeal, regained a measure of composure, the storm had almost totally abated. Blue skies smiled from one corner of the heavens, though, reviving to a vast, circular, directionless world as she had, she could not be certain just as to which corner. Is there a corner of the horizon? She made the call out, she made the stagger on legs of jelly towards the front of the boat. Then she stopped and looked about. Though not particularly conversant with nautical terminology, that means the way they speak on the boat terminology, she surmised that the craft would probably be called a small launch. What do you call a launch? A little bit at the back where people can see launch.
Does it?
Yes, very small. There was an open part at the stern and covered section in front of that, middle of the ship, wherein was located the steering wheel and other assorted technical gizmos making up the helm, that's the front, with plain wooden seating along the sides. The combined length of all this took up no more than about 14 feet. Forward, with steps leading down to various living areas beneath the bow, the front of the boat. She thought, and this is all that stands between me and 2,000 fathoms of ocean. A fathom is 6 feet, by the way. For a second or two, she imagined that she could hear movement. Is anyone there, she called? But there was only silence. Yet still at any moment she expected the captain, the pilot, to come striding on deck with a smile and a helping hand, gently lead her to a hot meal and a change of clothes. She was tired, hungry and waterlogged, full of water, drenched, to put it mildly, and she must needs search out food and dry apparel, clothing. Hesitantly excuse me. Now I've coughed on camera. Oh, God, first I burped, now I coughed. Oh, I'm waiting to sneeze. I told Simon I'm going to sneeze next. Hesitatingly, she just said, hello, drinking water. Yes, good, yes. Now, wait a minute.
We are taking a short break. Cassandra, the golden voice, is clearing her throat with a glass of water.
No, need toilet break now. Quick, hurry up.
A cup of water.
Okay.
And then she will continue right after that.
All right, no.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh, hang in. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, God, where is everything? Oh, there's my tissue. 10 miles down in my pocket. Naturally, of course.
How deep such a pocket is? 10 miles.
Did I say take a toilet break? Oh.
We're on a break. Awaiting Cassandra the Great.
Oh.
Are you ready?
Oh, right, now.
All right. Thanks. Cassandra is back. Sorry for that break.
All right. Hesitantly, she descended the steps to the living quarters. Hello? Oh, just go like this. Right, here we go. No sound, no smiling personage to welcome her. There was a narrow passageway through the kitchen area, the galley. They call it the galley of the ship, the kitchen. At the base of the steps, which widened out to bunk beds on the right, and a large plain wooden table to the left, with bench seating along the wall. The table was bare. The galley was clean and polished. Where was the one who had saved her? Tentatively, she knocked on the door of the bathroom, tucked away to one side. Are you in there? She gripped the door handle. I'm coming in. The door opened, a toilet and a shower cubicle, empty. True fear was beginning to manifest itself in her heart. She turned back towards the steps. A plate of food, hot, nourishing food, was set on the table with knife and fork. The table, which had just been bare of any objects just a few moments before. She gave a little whimper of fright. She only turned her eyes away from the main room for a few seconds. She ran through down, there's a meal on the table. Where'd that come from? She ran through the galley and up the steps. No one was on deck. No one was on the broad bow of the boat, nor hanging onto the sides out of sight, nor on the little staircase leading down to the waterline. With a cry of distress and agitation, she rushed back below deck. Now there was a mug of hot coffee or tea. She knew not which, next to the plate of food. She threw open the door of the bathroom. Deserted. No one there. She felt a tingling sensation in her arms. The air about her seemed muffling and velvety, almost tangible cushioning against her skin. She collapsed onto the end of the bench seating. When she finally realised what was happening, her reaction to the reality of these phenomena, these things going on, was mixed. Contrary to popular humanist mythology, one does not run screaming from the scene in the face of inexplicable supernatural occurrences. Oh God, there's me in the big words again. Run for your dictionary. Explicable, cannot explain them. Supernatural occurrences, but rather one is simply filled with horror and disbelief, utter perplexity. A feeling that this cannot be happening, that is beyond normal everyday events. So heaving herself over the side again was not an option. When one is overwhelmingly engulfed by an immensity of sea and sky, unless one possesses the ability to breathe underwater, to have the adaptability of an amphibian, that means like a frog or something, you don't go from the water to the air, then remaining on board with all of its fear and dread and trepidation is the only viable alternative. And her powers of physical endurance being not commensurate, equal with the distance of the swim by conservative estimates up to 20 miles to the shore, discretion, that means being careful, proved the better part of valour, and prudence finally reigned supreme. Everyone's saying, what? Sorry about that. Oh, discretion means being careful. Discretion is the better part of valour, of courage. All right, maybe I'll just take a step back here. For she understood that if once she gave into this terror growing inside of her and ran in panic-stricken headlong flight up onto the deck, then never again could she summon the courage to return to the interior of the boat, even for food to sustain her body. And so she sat, heart beating wildly, hands clenched in her lap, not knowing whether to have her eyes open and keep careful watch on the boat, or close her eyes, avoid facing whatever might appear. But nothing happened. Timbers creaking as the craft rocked gently in the swell of the waves. The watery slap of the current against the hull of the ship, the outside. The soothing motions of a boat at rest. The terror in her soul had reached this epiphany. That means when you have an epiphany, it means you change a whole way of thinking. Turn right around your thinking. The terror in her soul had reached this epiphany. She quietly realised that the vessel would do her no harm. It provided food and shelter. It had rescued her from that terrible storm. Whatever its powers towards her, they were benign. They were gentle and nice. Tears trembled in her eyes, tears of relief and joy. This was her home now. She would travel to wherever the boat chose to take her, anywhere or nowhere. She would learn to be content with what she was offered, satisfied with enough for her sustenance. That's the food she needs and needs. The end. The boat was alive, was looking after. Okay, now I have another one here. All right, this is called antiquity. That means it's very strong.
Just one. Sorry.
Oh, yes, go.
Just before we go to that next one,
yes,
we have a short break and be right back.
Okay, yeah, well, I have a sweet order. Yeah. All right.